Hello, everybody. Let me make sure that my mic is working. Yes. Hello, hello. Awesome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Stories with Sapphire Live. I am Sapphire Sandalo. This is the live stream that I do every week on Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific here on twitch.tv/Sapphire Sandalo. And if you miss it live, fear not. I post it the very next day on my YouTube. Maayong, gabi for me here. Maayong buntag, alienated kitten, hello. So I receive lots of emails and stories, and not all of them will make it to the podcast or a YouTube video. So I like to read those here. So I, reminder, I usually don't read the stories ahead of time. So it's a little rougher. It's a little less polished than what you're used to. And you know what? That's okay. It's me letting go of my need to have everything be super polished and perfect before I release it into the world. But we're just hanging out. Hello, everybody in the chat. This is the most active anyone's ever been. So I guess we'll start. I want to start these streams with a little weekly update, little catch up before heading on into the stories. So let's see what happened this week. I don't know if all of you have been watching, but I have a new show on Discovery Plus called The Ghost Town Terror. It's the first time I've done a narrative investigative show, and it was really fun and really cool. We went to a city in Montana called Anaconda, and there is a place called Gunslinger Gulch. And it's just a real weird place and a really weird case. Ooh, that rhymed. So there's 6 episodes. I believe 3 of them are currently streaming on the app now, and reruns are on Travel Channel. But if you don't have the Discovery Plus app, it is also on Travel Channel. New episodes air 10 p.m. every Friday. So there are 3 more episodes coming out. You could just wait till they all come out and binge them all in a row. You do you. But yeah, I wanted to let you all know about that. And there is a week free trial of Discovery Plus. So if you want to wait till all the episodes are out and then just binge them in that week, there's a free way to support the show. What else happened? Gonna be moving soon. I'm selling this booth, making a new booth in my new home. I'm very excited about that. And you know, switching stuff up and is always good. I don't know. I'm sort of just scrambling, waiting for people to waiting for people to come in the room. So I've got a couple really cool stories picked out for us today. And then at the end, I will not forget, I have forgotten so many weeks, I will pull a card from my favorite deck, the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck, and see what our Angels and Ancestors have to tell us for this week. Yeah, y'all ready? Let's do it. Our very first story, let's ease into it. Let's do a short one. So this one, okay, here we go. Again, apologies if I stumble. I have so many stories to tell. Some are my own experiences, and some are experiences my mom and dad had. I'll start with my own story. My dad passed away February 12th, 2013. I wasn't in the best relationship at the time and had taken a break with the person when he passed away. My dad used to make fun of me for believing in paranormal stuff, which is what makes this so funny. About a month or 2 after he passed, I reconnected with this bad relationship. So we were standing in the kitchen of my apartment where I had lived for almost 2 years. I had a small bar stand that had a microwave on it and a vase filled with corks. My ex and I were standing in front of the stand, talking, and I was telling him about my dad and what happened. All of a sudden, the vase with the corks flies off the stand. It doesn't fall, it flies into the dining room like it had been pushed. My ex and I were each about a foot from the stand. just standing there talking. We just looked at one another and didn't say a word. 2 weeks later, my apartment did not have hot water, and I had to call the maintenance office. I called the office from my cell phone. While I'm on the phone, I hear static, and the girl is asking me questions, and in the static, I can hear a man talking, but it's not clear. I remember trying to figure out what it was. Was it interference? Was there someone behind her talking to her? She wasn't responding and wasn't acting like she heard it. So I keep listening and trying to make out what the guy was saying. Then, clear as day, I hear, "Listen to me when I talk to you." I immediately threw the phone. I knew it was my dad. About a month later, I went to see a medium, and she confirmed what I thought without me even mentioning the story. She told me, "Your dad reached out to you. He wants to make sure you listen to him." Needless to say, I'm fairly certain he didn't want me in that relationship. It ended soon after, and so did communication from my dad. Wow! That's awesome. This one's from Jessica. Jessica, that's great. And also really cool. I love the fact that your dad was a skeptic and not a believer and ended up reaching out on the other side. That's cool. I like that a lot. We're off to a great start, everyone. All right. This one, let's do... Oh, that one's... Let's do another little shorty. All right. Lady in Yellow. Violet was upstairs doing her homework and listening to music. She heard thumps from downstairs, but that was impossible. She was home alone. Don't think it's a monster. It's just probably my tea. I'm going to go check if it's ready, Violet said, as she had a random chill crawling down her shoulders. She ignored it and went downstairs while she got her tea. She saw a shadow fading away slowly. Violet was about to shed a tear of stress, and she started shaking. But when she started to calm down, she went back upstairs. But she felt like someone was behind her, following her. She looked behind her. There was no one. There's nothing. Violet went to bed. She still heard the sound of footsteps. She covered herself with her sheets. It had been an hour. It's 3 a.m. She uncovered herself. She couldn't move. She was trying to get to her phone, but her hand wouldn't budge. She was too late. Violet's heart was racing as she heard the footsteps come closer to her room. Suddenly, the door had opened, and there it was, the lady in yellow. She had a beautiful yellow dress and brown hair, but she did not have a face. But now Violet could move. She suddenly ran and closed the door on her, and the lady started screaming, "Open the door, open the door, open the door, open the door." There's no way this is happening. I need to call the police, Violet thought. The screaming had stopped. Violet's lost signal. The screaming had stopped. Violet's lost signal, so she decided to open the door and make a run for it. But Violet's vision was blurry, and when she passed out, she saw a woman in yellow opening her stretchy mouth until everything was black. Lights went out, and Violet woke up in the morning, dizzy. She looked in the bathroom mirror if anything was wrong, but she could not see that she had hit her head on the door, and she could not speak either. Violet had no face, and there was blood on the stairs with Violet's face on the river of blood. Eyes were all on her. Everything was... Wait, Hank, sorry, the sentence is really weird. What? Everything was black, lady in yellow, lady in yellow, lady in yellow. Weeks later, Violet has gone missing. Her friend Jenny was suspicious. She looked in the news. It said, there was an appearance with a woman with a yellow dress who walked in her house. Jenny searched for the lady in yellow. Jenny shook her eyes were wide. Lady in yellow is a beautiful girl who has no face. If you don't respect Lady in Yellow, or if you mess with her, she will take off your face and replace her with yours, and she will take you to a different dimension afterwards. Oh no, Jenny said, scared, worried if the lady in yellow will steal other faces. What? Sorry, that got a little weird just because the punctuation of this one was a little bit confusing. Lady in Yellow kept like randomly. Is that the idea? Like Lady in Yellow's like throughout the story. I'm not sure, but usually we hear Lady in Black, Lady in White. It was kind of cool to hear a story about a lady in yellow. Um, oh, we got a chat from Agam Bloom. Hey Sapphire, if you see a story called It Walk Down the Stairs, could you please read it? I don't want to force that on you if you don't want. That's totally okay. Thank you. Oh, I will look out for it. All right. There's something I wanted to say while we are in between stories. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. So yesterday, I actually interviewed this man named Adam Bly. He is an exorcist trainer. He's not a priest himself, but he trains exorcists. And he has a master's in psychology. And the reason why he got into this is because priests, I forget who exactly, it was a priest or maybe a bishop, they called him in to evaluate possible possessed people for their mental health because he can diagnose these things. And he experienced someone who had a really, really intense possession. And then now he helps people become unpossessed. That was a really interesting conversation, especially just as someone who I feel like, I mean, I don't consider myself Catholic anymore. Like I don't really practice much, but I mean, I used to be in a state of like don't even talk to me about it. But I think that's why I wanted to talk to him because I like talking to spiritual authorities of a lot of things. And the thing I found most fascinating was how it reminded me that we have a lot more in common than we do differently, you know? Anyways, that episode will not be going up for a while, but get excited for it because it's really cool. All right, here we go. Ooh, this one looks fun. Okay, this one's called Story of the Bottomless Drawer. This one's a little long. Oh no, did I read who the last one was from? Frick. I might have forgot. Okay, this one's from Eric. Ever since I was a child, I have always had occasional night terrors. I call these night terrors because they were not your usual nightmares. I would have these once or twice a week. My mother would always tell me to have my brother or sister sleep beside me so they can wake me up when I get these. Sorry, I had a burp. Until now, I still have those occasional night terrors, but not as much as before. I would like to think that growing up with these, I have learned to find ways to strengthen my faith and fight my inner demons. When I have these night terrors, though, I would always I would always write down the most vivid ones because previously, where I had reoccurring night terrors, it was actually a spirit wanting to make itself known to me. This story, though, was so chilling and it felt like my mind could not have made that up. I had to write it down as it feels like it has actually happened, possibly some part of the world. I dreamt of a girl going through her stuff. There were mountains of clothes in one corner of the room and books on the other. She was going through them looking for something that when she pulled the drawer handle from the drawer, she sees nothing but blackness. It was like staring into space, just black, wide space. While staring at the blackness, she saw a dot or a white speck out of the darkness. She stares at it for a while, wondering what could that white speck be? Until it rushed forward, kept getting bigger and bigger, and then she sees it's a face, though I cannot see it from my vision. But she was terrified. She screamed and ran out of the room. She was afraid of opening drawers for a while. Days or weeks must have passed as she forgotten the ordeal. Then suddenly, she opened the drawer, and it was all black again. She remembered this. She was shivering with fear as she was preparing herself to see the face again. And out of nowhere, the pale hands with long nails came out and pulled her hands that were frozen on the handle into the drawer. The dream continues as if looking through the victim of this thing. This time, it was a guy. He also was looking for something, and when he pulled the drawer, he saw blackness. Same thing. He saw a white speck. Then when he was just thinking, what could that be? It rushed closer until he was able to see the whole face. I still can't see it, but the guy was terrified and able to run. He was brave enough to check again, but there was nothing. He was afraid to open drawers. So the fear subsided, and slowly he kind of forgets, but still he doesn't open drawers. Until one night he had to look for something, and initially he wanted to open a drawer but said to himself, I'll ask my mom later when she comes back from work. He then remembered his mom mentioning she placed it on those small cabinets, the one with the doors. He thought to himself, it's not a drawer, so shouldn't be a problem. He opened the small cabinet door, and as if waiting for him, he saw again all the darkness. He was stunned, and next thing he knew, he was pulled by the same white hands like the first victim. Another victim was a girl. Same thing, she opened the drawer and saw darkness and then the face. She screamed and ran. She figured it was nothing, but still she didn't want anything to do with drawers, so there were none in her room. It was just an empty room with a bed in it. When she was looking for something in the room, though, under the bed, she saw a box. When she pulled the box, it didn't move as it was heavy. She forcefully pulled it with one hand. The drawer came sliding out into her side. Inside was the darkness, and the hands came out and grabbed the hands of the girl and pulled her, and she struggled, screamed, and moving back and forth, but it was no use. She was pulled in under the bed. I saw this all happening, and in the dream it felt like I was in the room now on top of the bed. I was so curious if the girl was still there that I peeked from the top of the bed's edge. There I saw the floor, and there was no girl. Then I saw the drawer. It still had the opening facing upward, and all I could see was darkness, emptiness. Then the white speck, a tiny white speck out of all the darkness. I blinked, and it was the face, a face of a lady with messy black hair and a deranged smile inches away from my face. I was frozen, and it felt like my soul had left my body because of the fear. She still stared at me as if to say, I'm next. Then I woke up. Whoa. What? Yo. Sorry, I'm not at a loss for words. I am pulling up something. Sorry. Dude, that does that sound like anything anyone has ever heard before? Because that sounded so epic and cinematic, like this repetitive, whoa, I love that visual of bottomless drawers and then something like pulling you in. Man, Eric, if you're having cool dreams like this, I'm sure it doesn't feel cool to you in the moment because it's horrifying, but wow, that's kind of incredible. I wonder if what you're tapping into, I wonder if you're tapping into people's actual memories or some sort of alternate dimension or realm where this thing is happening to people. I don't know. That's blowing my mind right now, but I appreciate you for sharing that. That was a cool story. Maybe I'll read it on the podcast. All right. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, what'd you guys think of that one? JRET says, safety reminder, don't wake someone up from a night terror or a nightmare. They could act violently. Oh, so, like, what do you do in that situation? Is it one of those you got to just write it out and let them, that their brain. I've heard several different things because you also want, it's like, if you're in the middle of it, you want to give your brain the opportunity to resolve it, right? But at the same time, it's very stressful when it's happening. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like I'm leaning towards letting it resolve because it ultimately is just a dream. And if it could potentially be more harmful to wake you up in the middle of it, then it's like kind of maybe write it out. Or make a loud noise and leave the room. All right. Let's do, this one's pretty short. What's this? Okay, so this one's called My Grandfather Visits Me in My Dreams. Hi, Sapphire. I've been watching your videos for a while and I've loved learning about Filipino culture and folklore. I hope this story isn't too long. Definitely not. I've dreamt about my granddad ever since he passed away from a lung cancer when I was 13. They're usually pretty brief, and so are the full-on conversations we'd have. I remember one instance where he said, "I love you." It was as clear as a bell, and I said it back. I'm 22 now, and this is the first time I've ever had a nightmare with him in it. It still disturbs me when I think about it. We're at my grandmother's in her carport. At first, he seems completely normal, standing in front of me as a whole human. I look away for some reason, and I see it. His head sitting on a lawn chair. It's not bloody or gory like something you'd see in a horror movie, but clean. I think it says something to me. I'm pretty sure I heard whatever it was in the dream, but of course I can't remember what it was when I woke up. I catch a glimpse of my mom, and she says, "It's evil. It's probably evil." I scream bloody murder, then I wake up. I believe our loved ones can visit us in our dreams, but I know for a fact that thing was not my granddad. He would never scare me like that. Whoa. This one's from Torrijos, I think. They didn't put their name, so I'm not entirely sure. That reminds me of something that I recently interviewed someone about. I forget who, but they said that when they're presented with, or when they're meeting someone that they know in the astral realm, they hug them, they smell them, they feel the texture of their skin, the temperature of their skin, so that they know, they know, like, okay, that's who they are. Like, that's the real, we'll use grandpa. That's real grandpa, right? So that way, when anything is trying to imitate them, they smell, they touch, you know instinctively that something is off. Who was that? Was I interviewing someone or was I watching a video? I can't remember. But the point is, if you have the ability to travel to these astral realms, try to gain as much information as you can while you're there through all of your senses. So that way, when things are different, you know. That actually also reminds me of something else. I feel like, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the term clairolfaction, if that's the right word. It is because you've got clairsentient, we got clairvoyant, clairolfaction. I should probably look this up. That's psychic smell. And I think I have that. Something really, I don't think, have I mentioned this yet? I don't think I have. So I recently got into making candles because I love burning candles, and it's so much cheaper to just buy your own wax and make it yourself. And also, if you're doing magic, you can literally make exactly what you need. And I have been making candles for all of my friends recently, for Christmas, for gifts, and for like souvenirs for stuff. And for the last couple months, I would randomly get a whiff of a candle. And sometimes it's in my office. So I'm like, okay, well, I had a candle lit earlier. This probably just residual. But then I would get the whiff when I'm not in my office, when I'm not in an area where I had lit a candle. So I thought, that's really weird. And so when that started happening, I would message my group. I had this group chat in Instagram with all my like friends and family who are into all this stuff. And I'd like be like, hey, I kind of get random whiffs of candle every now and then. And one of my friends said, I think I have a theory. You said that you smelled it within the hour and I had burned the candle that you made me recently. He's like, maybe you are smelling whenever someone is lighting your candle because you're somehow linked to it. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe. That's like a cool theory. So the next time it happened, I was sitting in my living room, had not lit a candle in there, and all of a sudden I got like a really brief, just a brief little boop. And I thought, is that something? I was like, I think I'll message the chat just to see. And I messaged them. I was like, hey, just got a whiff. And my friend was like, yo, I just lit your candle. And then sent me a photo. So I think I have psychic smell. I don't know. It needs to happen. I need more. More. I don't know. It's that could have been a fluke, but what a fluke, right? Like that's kind of cool. I don't know. Anyways, does anyone else have psychic smell in the chat? Let me know, because I need to talk to people about this. Like, how do I develop that? How do I know if something's telling me something? Because I get random smells all the time, and because I'm so anxious, I'm always like, oh my god, does it mean I'm having a stroke? Which I know that is a thing, certain smells, so that's why I'm kind of like, ugh. All right. Oh, Frosted Flake says, I smelled my grandfather once in our old house. My mom recognized the smell. We think he was trying to protect us. I need to send that story too. Yes, please. I'd love to hear it. Crystalline, my Gigi visited me in a dream but smelled of vinegar. Interesting. All right, y'all. Last story. And then we're good. Yeah, oops, I'm running a little over time, but that's okay. I'm going to read a really, really quick one. Oh, wait, I already did. Read that. Oh, this one's quick too. Actually, I lied. I'm sorry. We're going to go ahead and jump to the card pull because I just realized that we are running out of time here. It's one of those things that just happens. I'd say try some meditation to try to strengthen your gift. Okay. All right, here we go. Also, if you guys are not familiar with this deck, it's amazing. It's called the Angels and Ancestors Oracle card. So beautiful, multicultural. I love it. All right, so I'm going to pull a card for a collective reading for everyone in the chat. Hope it resonates with you, and if not, that's fine. I'm sure you'll get something out of it no matter what. When I shuffle, I usually like to see if cards kind of pop out or stand out, which means that sometimes I end up shuffling for a very long time. But, you know what? Oh, yep, there we go. See that? Oh, I love it. I've never had this one before, actually. This one's called Lady. Enjoy growth and reap rewards. Isn't that pretty? Is she holding an apple? Apple. Sorry, wait. Okay. Let me read, because I haven't memorized these yet, so I'm just learning these. Reap what you have sown and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Grow and expand in all areas of your life. The lady, known as the Empress in the traditional tarot, is the representation of the goddess in her most fertile form. She's an abundant, beautiful, creative being. She is closely connected to nature because it is her child. She represents maternal energy and has more than enough love to give all who need nurturing. Yet she is a representation of the goddess Venus, too, and yearns for a rich relationship with her counterpart, the Lord. In this card, she holds an apple. Its seeds form a perfect pentagram, which, in paganism, represents the 5 elements of life. Fertility, growth, and abundance are all imminent when the lady arrives in your life. All the seeds you have planted are coming to life, and there are plenty more rewards to come. In a material sense, this card can represent financial security and comfort. It shows that there will be more than enough to go around. If you're making business deals or setting intentions to create financial growth, this card indicates a considerable amount of monetary success. The lady can also usher in other forms of abundance, opportunities, marriage proposals, and even the birth of a child. She will help you respect nature and connect with its forces in order to have a genuinely supported journey through life. Aw, that's beautiful. I like that. Okay, I hope everybody... All right, everyone, your fruits, your labor fruits will come to fruition. Oh, that's beautiful. And apples do mean something to me right now, so that's actually kind of cool. Sick. All right, everybody, we've come to the end of our time together. I love doing these streams. I think with the podcast and the YouTube channel, or the YouTube videos, animated videos, which, by the way, are coming back in May, they take so much out of me, which is why I don't do them often. I know you guys like them, but it takes so much out of me. I don't know why. But yeah, they're coming back in May, so mark your calendars. And yeah, send me those stories. What was I think I was saying something. Sorry, I feel like it's dinner time. That's why my brain is kind of like, every week, Wednesdays, 5:30 Pacific, twitch.tv/Sapphire Sandalo, or the very next day on youtube.com/Sapphire Sandalo. You can send your own emails and stories to storieswithsapphire@gmail.com. It's right here. What was the other thing? Oh, and watch the Ghost Town Terror if you have Discovery Plus or Travel Channel. There are 3 more episodes coming out before the season is done. They are waiting to let us know if there will be another one until after the 6th episode. So please watch it. Let me know what you think. Yeah. I hope all of you have an amazing Wednesday. I hope all of your dreams come true. Ooh, you know what would be kind of cool? I think maybe next week. Someone remind me, though, because I will forget. It would be kind of cool to talk about vision boards, because I think they work for me every time. And so I want everyone to have what they want. Whatever. Okay. Bye, everyone.